And tell you what, man, let's call these motherfuckers up right the fuck now and see what the fuck is going on in their world, man. Hello, Steven.
What's up, man?
Dude, what's going on, man? You're fucking live on the Zach Moonshine show with Metal Devastation Radio.
I guess I should probably turn the stream off so I don't have to listen to this delay then, right?
Yeah.
How are you, man? What's going on?
Dude, we're fucking doing great, man. Just got done jamming your fucking track, Alone in Suffering. Fucking, that was some badass shit, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That track is, that one's a close one to me. I wrote that one and the lyrics for that one, so that's a special song to me.
Nice. So tell us, man, what's going on in the world of He Who Binds Himself?
So, not much, right? I mean, fucking COVID's going on. Everything's locked down. I think you're, in Tennessee or something like that? I don't know how your situation is over there. We actually opened up quite a bit, but now they're starting to lock things down again. Like kids' schools are closing down again and stuff like that. So we had bigger plans, of course, for this year and this album. We released it at the beginning of the year, just decided just to go with it anyway, given the situation and whatnot. We just recently got a new drummer. I don't know if you all are familiar with a band called Atoll, but they have a drummer named Andy. We just picked him up, so we're sharing a jam room with Atoll. If you guys are into like slam death and shit like that, check them out. They're really good. So that's really what we've been focusing on, bringing Andy on board, getting him caught up to speed on all the tracks and drums and stuff like that. And we got a pocket full of new songs that we're working on, getting him brought up to speed on that mainly.
Hell yeah, man. So tell us, how long have you guys been doing this, and exactly how did it get started?
All right. Well, the band's actually been around like 14 or 15 years. It was started by our vocalist, Nathan Gearhart. Y'all might remember him from a band called Vehemence. Nathan, it's really his story to tell, but I'll try to summarize what I know. Nathan had to leave Vehemence due to family and jobs and requirements and stuff like that. So he was out of the scene for a while and then got the itch to start something back up, and he started up He Who Binds Himself. One of the remaining original members is our guitar player Gabe Oso. He was back there in like 2004, 2005, something like that. As an original member, I came on board around 2008. We've had a couple different bass players during that time, a couple different drummers during that time. Currently we got Mark Kozubek, who's also from Vehemence, on bass. And I mentioned Andy. We just brought Andy on board on drums. So it originally just kind of started as a side project for all of us, and Nathan, just for him to get some creative efforts out. And a bunch of us were involved in different projects. I was in a band called Autumn's End, doing some stuff, and a lot of us were just getting together just to hang out and drink some beers and fucking jam some metal, that kind of stuff. And then, as different people's projects wrapped up or went in different directions, we found ourselves back here again focusing on this material and decided we're gonna give this a full focus and put out some material on a record. Just so happens that our record label, Metal Devastation Records, picked us up and is doing distribution for us. So we're just happy to get this shit finally on record. Like I said, we've been around for quite some time, me especially since 2008 with some of this material, and just happy to finally put it down in a recording and get it out to people and stuff like that.
Fuck yeah, man. Dude, you mentioned, first of all, I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona for a long time, so I'm pretty familiar with the scene.
You're familiar?
Yeah. And, you mentioned, Autumn's End.
Yes.
I have a fucking t-shirt of Autumn's End, dude.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I bought it at one of those fucking stores out there that sells like fucking used clothing and shit, man. I was in there just buying some clothes for work one day, and I stumbled upon that shirt, and I was like, fuck yeah, man. It said something on the back about guns and I don't know, something else, that I was like, fuck yeah, dude, this is badass. I didn't even know who the fuck you guys were at the time, though. I just grabbed it because it looked cool, and then I checked you guys out. And I was like,
I was in that band for, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, something like that. A couple interesting side notes. L, who was the bass player at Autumn's End, he actually plays in Insight now, which is Richie Cavalera's band. He's been playing with them for quite some time. And then the guitar player, I don't know if you know this or not, is actually Chris Canella. He works for Dean Guitars and is the new guitar player in Deicide. So he's been with Deicide for about, I think it going about a year now. He's been with Deicide. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see all these guys, you know, still out there in the scene and doing some really big stuff. You know, that's really cool.
And then Abigail Williams, I did an interview with them on the show fucking years ago, man. So yeah.
Yeah, we have some roots with that. Our drummer prior to our drummer that we have now was Andy from Vehemence. He was involved in Abigail Williams, and our bass player Mark was. We're going way back to its original lineup, and you know, when things for Abigail first started getting started with Bjorn and Ken, stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, a lot of roots and a lot of good music floating around, a lot of good talent with these guys. You know, it's a pleasure to be able to surround yourself with that kind of talent.
Hell yeah, man. And you mentioned Metal Devastation Records from the fucking store, Metal Devastation. I used to go to that shop all the fucking time out there, man. I fucking loved it, dude.
Oh, yeah. We go back. We go way back. Shoot, I remember playing Metal Devastation. He had 2 or 3 stores at one time here in Phoenix, and one of the stores downtown had a stage. Yeah. So I remember going there and, you know, playing some crazy black metal bands. I was in an old band called Eroticide with a lot of, you know, blood and fire and shit like that, and just crazy times hanging out in the parking lot, partying, just jamming metal. It was fucking awesome.
Dude, I saw 6 Feet Under there one night, and awesome. I remember they had free beer. I still have the flyer, dude. It was fucking insane. Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, free fucking beer? What the fuck, dude? Let's go.
Well, because he wasn't like a bar or anything, you know. He was really like a merchandise store.
Yeah.
You know, he was selling T-shirts and leather garb and stuff like that, and happened to have enough room in the back for a stage and built out a stage. And, yeah, so everyone was like a BYOB kind of thing. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, man.
It was a good place to hang out. We still talk to that dude, like I said, when he found out what we were doing and hit some of us up and asked us, you know, what our plans were for distribution and stuff. And he's totally awesome to work with. You know, we had a couple emails back and forth, a couple phone conversations. He came down to the jam room, hung out. You know, we talked business, and he's super cool and super easy to work with, and was just real generous and real happy to be working with us and helped us out, you know, getting, so like for me, I know it seems like a lot of people that I talk to, it's kind of a split thing. I'm a CD guy, right? You know, like I still buy CDs. You know, I like to open the CD and look at the inlays and all the artwork and shit. So that was something important for me to do. And Metal Dev helped us, you know, get those duplicated, and he's got them in his shop, and he's pushing them out worldwide as far as I know. And yeah, so that was really cool, and we're happy to be working with him. Like I said, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, that's fucking awesome, dude. Yeah, they're cool fucking people, man. Like I said, you know, I used to go to that store all the time, and I fucking loved it, dude. That's actually my first radio show that I had on another station was called the Metal Devastation Radio Show. And when I did that, I named it after that store. And I remember I fucking emailed the guy, and I was like, hey, man, fucking love your shop, man. I'm going to fucking do this fucking radio show. I'm going to call it after you guys, you know, and fucking, you know, hope you don't mind. And they were like, yeah, it's cool, man. Fucking. That's
awesome, dude. Yeah, it's funny. I'm glad you brought that up, because a few of us, you know, because that shop goes way back. You know, we're talking, shoot, man. I mean, I'm thinking, I remember doing some of those shows back in the early 90s and stuff. So a lot of people ask us, you know, Metal Devastation Radio or Metal Devastation, the old store, is it, you know, same thing? And I'm like, I don't know, dude. I don't think so. So it's cool to have that background. Now I can actually tell people, yeah, you know, the dude lived here and he was really, you know, like that store and named it after it. That's really cool. That's good history.
Yeah. No, we're not linked up, but like we're friends, you know, and so it was cool, man. It's just like it was like a tribute thing, and then here we are now, man. Fucking
yeah, still going strong, huh?
Full circle.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah, man. And I see you also have some history with Reign of Vengeance too. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, that's actually how I met Mark, who's our current bass player in He Who Binds Himself. He was writing an album wrote a whole album's worth of music and material, and they were looking for a live guitar player. So I came on board. I kind of knew the guys from the Vehemence circle. You know, we had crossed paths on various stages, and shared some beers and stuff like that, but not as a super close personal level. So they were looking for a live guitar player, and I came on board. And Mark and I, the bass player, we really kind of hit it off and started really playing a bunch of different music together. And over the years, kept crossing paths with different projects and stuff, and happy to have him back. This is actually, I think, the second or third time Mark's been back with He Who Binds Himself. So yeah, totally happy to be jamming with him. That sparked up really, really good friendship, so I'm happy about that. We've been going strong with Mark for a couple years now, and that track that you just played has a nice little bass break in the middle there that features his playing, and some of the Mark is probably my favorite bass player of all time, honestly, in any genre, really, because just being a death metal bass player, he plays with his fingers, but he's got a lot of influences from like Flea and stuff like that, and I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Primus, so even though he's a death metal player, he draws a lot of those influences from those guys. So that tune in particular, Alone in Suffering, has a section that really kind of showcases some of his his flair and groove and style that he brings into our fold, which is really cool.
Yeah, totally, man. It's like funk fucking bass, like all of a sudden in the middle of a death metal song. It's totally unexpected. You're not fucking thinking that that's what's gonna happen, but then it happens, and you're like, "Fuck, this is fucking crazy." It's fucking cool, man.
Yeah, and it's really weird the kind of way that came about is I had mentioned I'd actually wrote that song. I don't know, it was a couple years ago, and I don't know if if a lot of your listeners play music, but a lot of that stuff goes through different transitions or different drafts. You write it one way and you change it and whatever. So the original version that I brought to the band, that middle brace break was actually an acoustic guitar break, but trying for us being death metal guitar players, going from such a crazy rhythm, and then we wanted to hold out the guitars and let it die out as this thing grew in the middle. At the time, not really sure what that thing was going to be. It was written as an acoustic guitar medley, using the same kind of notes, but then it was like we were at practice one day, and I was kind of showing Mark the next couple of parts, and he started doing a little something, and I was like, whoa, dude, keep doing that, why don't you? And then it was like, what, that's not an acoustic part anymore, that's a bass break. So this is what I play, take it home, and let us know what you want to do with it. And that's what he came back, and the first time we heard it, we were all like, holy shit, dude, that's cool. Like you said, being a death metal band, but still being able to throw in some of those different influences or whatnot, just grab everybody's attention. A lot of people, when they hear that song, maybe they're not paying attention in the beginning because it's a death metal song, but then they hear that and they're like, whoa, what the hell is that? Then they pay a little more closer attention. So like I said, it's really cool. There's a couple songs on the album where Mark gets to do that kind of stuff, and it's really nice working with him because he has such a unique flavor of bass playing.
Oh yeah, man. Speaking of the sounds and whatnot, man, I know we do have a bunch of gearheads out there listening. Can you give us like a rundown of your rig and like what you guys were using to record to get this sound?
Sure. So we recorded at a studio here called Villain Recording Studios with a guy named Byron Filson.
Yeah, from Pelvic Meatloaf.
Yep. I was just going to say he plays in Pelvic. So those of you that are from the Phoenix area, Byron's a well-known name, not only himself and his studio, but his band. Those guys have been around. I think they just celebrated their 30-year anniversary or something. So they're no strangers to the scene, and Byron's gone to school for all that stuff. I've actually recorded with him a few times at different projects. So we went to him. The coolest thing about going to Byron was, as far as like a guitar player, myself and Gabriel, we brought in our own rigs, like our own heads and our own pedal boards or whatever, and our own speaker cab, and we set up our sound the way that we like it, and then on top of that, Byron being the guy that he's also a guitar player, which is really cool, but being trained and have been recording for so long, he also set up his own head and his own speaker cabinets alongside of our rigs. and then dialed in. So that was like we were capturing our own tone, our own flavor, so to speak. But he was also able to add the frequencies and whatnot that that he needed in a recording aspect to really fill things out. One of the things we actually sat down and discussed before recording this album was, what kind of sound did we want to go in? What were we looking for? And we really wanted to just kind of capture that live stage kind of sound. We wanted it to be, modern recording, but not overproduced, not over edited, not over compressed or whatnot. We wanted to keep it really raw and old school death metal but still, it still needed to be polished a little bit, and sound good. And, man, everything we've heard from everybody and even the guys in the band, like myself, I've recorded several different albums over the year, and I have this weird thing where I don't really listen to my own albums for some reason. I don't know why. But this one particular album that we got, this is in my normal rotation, and I love listening to it. It came out great. Everything was recorded great. It sounds awesome. Everybody's, telling us it sounds great, and we're really happy with what we came away with. So props to Byron for that. We appreciate that, man.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah, man. Fucking, yeah, Byron's a fucking monster, dude. That last fucking Pelvic Meatloaf record was fucking insane, dude.
Yeah. Badass. And I got news for you. I think in 2 or 3 days they go in to start recording another album.
Oh, good. Thank fucking fuck, man. I've been waiting for that for a while, man. Fucking
yeah. That last album was super heavy and super like head Skull Crusher, I think it is. Fucking
yes,
good.
I know,
such a good tune.
I had Rich Formey on the show, and we did an interview with him, and I was telling him, I was like, man, that fucking record, it like stands up there, dude, next to Vulgar Display of Power and shit like that.
Yeah,
like it's that good, I'm like, you guys don't realize, man, what you have here.
Yeah. They definitely like I grew up in in New York, like Buffalo area, and so it was always like that New York style hardcore kind of stuff, like Biohazard, and I grew up listening to Biohazard and stuff like that. So just listening to that stuff, I always get that kind of vibe from it, man. You just get totally fucking pumped up, and it's just got, good head banging fucking thrashing metal with, you can sing along to the lyrics and stuff. It's just fucking, like you said, I don't think they really know what they have.
Yeah. I mean, I know they're huge there in Phoenix, but I think sometimes, like maybe they might be like in a little bit of a bubble there because they don't realize that, I don't know. The rest of the fucking world fucking loves it too, though, man. Fucking
yeah.
But yeah, that's fucking cool though that you got Byron on this, and that makes sense why this fucking album sounds so fucking badass too, dude.
Yeah, it came out great.
Yeah, the quality, man, is fucking up there, man.
Yeah. Like I said, I've recorded with Byron now. This is 3, 4, 5 times now, over different projects. So he was definitely a choice studio. Always super happy with the results, and it took us a while just because of we're all married men with kids and shit, working full-time jobs, and some money and timing and schedule. It was about a year or so from the time we recorded the drums to the time we put the finishing touches on it. So we took our time on it and listened to it and made sure it was what we wanted, and Byron totally knocked it out of the park, and he edited it and mastered it and mixed it and engineered it and everything from start to beginning, or from start to end. He recorded everything except the bass. I actually recorded the bass and then brought the tracks into the studio for that. But once after that, it was all in his hands. And like you said, dude, he's no stranger to this, and he knocked it out of the park for sure.
Hell yeah! All right, so I got some questions for you coming in from the listeners in the chat room, man.
Shoot.
Lady Red wants to know, what's one band or musician that you'd love to tour with if you had the chance? Anybody?
Oh, sure. I guess for me, I'll say Deicide for 2 reasons. One, Deicide's kind of the band back in the day. That Deicide album, that's the band that got me into death metal. You know what I mean? Once I heard that album, I was like, holy shit. And then, and 2, because Chris now is the guitar player in Deicide, and him and I go way back, early 90s. I go back with Chris. So, just a real cool dude. Always loved hanging out with him. We always had a good time, and that would just be really, really fucking awesome for me personally.
Hell yeah, dude. Yeah, man. That first Deicide record was fucking insane, dude. Like, that was my introduction to death metal myself, too, man. I remember I was living in Maryland at the time. I was like in middle school or something, man. Fucking, it was early 90s. And they played Sacrificial Suicide and the title track Deicide on this radio show that I was listening to, and I tape recorded it, and I fucking wore that fucking tape out, man. Fucking, I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck is this? But you could understand every single word that he was saying at the same time as it was fucking scary as fuck. It was just like, this is a whole new level, man, like, fuck.
Yeah, that's how it was for me, like I think I was starting to play guitar. I started playing guitar around 11 or 12, so it was around that time or so. I was already listening to things like I was kind of into like DRI and Sick of It All a little bit, and like a little bit of Metallica was coming around. But my buddy Bill Page back in New York, who is a bass player, we were kids, dude. You know what I mean? Talking young teenagers. But same thing. He came over one day with this copy tape, and he's like, here, dude, check this out. And I was like, all right, dude. I could put that shit down. I was like, holy cow. It's like, I thought some of the stuff I was listening to was pretty crazy and pretty heavy. And it was like, this stuff is fucking, like you said, next level, especially that time. You know what I mean? It was like, holy shit. And I shit you not, we're talking 30 some odd years ago. I still have that cassette tape, and it's still in the radio in my car parked in the garage. Oh, yeah. I have a classic Camaro that I don't drive very often, but it's in that tape deck. That's just where it lives. You know what I mean? Because that was the car I was driving around New York when I was like 16, and that tape was just playing constantly. That and the fluorescent orange Biohazard tape. It was those two tapes in my car constantly, dude.
Hell yeah, dude. Another question for you. GMCT wants to know, what's the craziest thing you've ever seen while playing on stage?
Oh, I've seen some pretty crazy shit. So back in the like early 90s or so, I played in a band. It was like a crazy S&M band, and we all got dressed up in like leather and spikes and had half naked nuns on stage and blowing fire and shooting blood on the crowd, kind of like a Gwar or Hellraiser kind of thing. So there were some crazy times. That was there was some crazy shit that happened. I'll throw one out. For example, we were playing a club here called the Clubhouse. It's no longer around anymore. I pour a little drink out for the Clubhouse. Love that place. But we were playing there on the big stage, which is 4 or 5, it's probably 5 or 6 feet off the ground. And we were playing there one time, and some dude jumped on stage and got a little crazy and went to stage dive. But when he went to stage dive, he kind of dove into the middle of the pit area instead of the crowd area, so nobody was really there to catch him. And he just landed square on his head, dude. And his head, he was a totally bald, shaved head, no hair, and his head just split open like an egg, man. Damn. And it was just friggin' just blood everywhere. At first, I'm on stage, obviously I'm wearing this mask, I can't really see very much, and we're already shooting fake blood out into the stage as it is, you know what I mean? So at first we're all up there just kind of jamming, doing our thing, and we kind of see this guy getting up on just kind of the corner of our eye, like, what the hell is going on? And we see a couple of our stage hands, and the security and whatever run over, grab this guy, carry him out. And by the time the end of our set was done, the paramedics were out there, and this dude's getting all bandaged up and hauled off. It was like, holy shit. Then people in the crowd started showing us video of what happened. It was like, holy shit, man. That's crazy.
Nice. All right. Another question. What's your favorite drink?
Favorite drink? If I'm drinking beer, it's Dos Equis. If I'm drinking like a mixed drink or something, it's usually just like a whiskey. It's like a Remy Martin. It has Remy Martin 1738 or something. Is a really smooth cognac. I'll admit it. I like food drinks sometimes. I'm not afraid to to have a little, lava flow. If you know what a lava flow is, that's a vodka, coconut, banana, strawberry thing. They're fucking delicious.
Nothing wrong with that, man. One of my favorite drinks from out there, dude, that I remember, Four Peaks fucking brewery. They made the kilt lifter, dude.
Oh yeah.
God, I miss that shit, man. I wish they would fucking put that shit out like around here, man, but they don't.
Yeah, I actually worked at a place that was like down the street from their the brewery they had up in Scottsdale, not the Tempe one, but the Scottsdale one. So we used to go there and eat lunch like 2-3 times a week and get their nachos and have a few beers and shit. It was awesome. I've heard some stories about those guys because I work with a dude who, it's going to be one of those stories. I work with a guy who went to college with one of them, and they actually got started brewing beer. I heard in the bathtub of their dorm room is where they first started brewing their beer. And then, look at those guys now. They got a couple restaurants, and I think they sold a bunch of shit to Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch or whatever's doing distribution for them now. So congrats to them. Nice, another local business doing good,
Yeah, I heard about that, man. I keep looking at the store, every time I go, man. I'm like, fuck, when are you guys gonna get some kilt lifter in here, man?
Yeah, I don't know offhand what they do actually distribute. Because I know they have 6-packs and stuff around. I'm not sure what is available out there.
All right, another question for you. Lady Red wants to know, how many instruments can you play?
I play guitar mostly, which kind of bleeds over to bass a little bit. I do a lot of home recording and composing, I guess. So I do like program drums, and I play a little bit of keyboard. Oh, and I got my start in music in 3rd grade playing alto sax. So I played alto sax from 3rd to 11th grade, and then a little bit of piano I played, and then I picked up the guitar when I was like 11 or 12.
Nice. Another question for you. What's your favorite venue to play at?
Oh man, things around Phoenix have changed so much. We had the Clubhouse, that's gone. We had Joe's Grottos, that's gone. So right now, our favorite venue, and props out to Kim, is Club Red. I don't know if when did you say you moved away from here?
Yeah, I've been to Club Red, man.
Okay. Yeah, the newest one, the bigger place on University.
No, I think it was the older one.
Yeah. So props out to Kim. She's also a local promoter here. I've known her for again, since the 90s or so. She's been around in the scene for a while doing promotions. She's now running Club Red, which is probably the biggest club here in Phoenix. It's actually 2 clubs in one. It's now 2 stages in one. And that place is awesome. She's always treated us very, very well. So I want to give her a shout out. I've never had any drama with her or any misleadings. Sometimes you have issues with promoters not paying or, jerking you around on showtimes or whatever. Kim's always been a straight shooter, and it's always been really a pleasure to work with her. So yeah, Club Red, and she's pulling in all kinds of big names too. She had Deicide here and 6 Feet Under and the DTA tour, and so Club Red it is. If you're looking for smaller venues, more like your bar type venue, we go to we like Starlight Lounge and the Blues here in Phoenix.
Nice. Have you guys ever played it in Canada?
No, we have not.
Okay. You got a bunch of people in here fucking asking about that, man. Fucking we got a huge fucking audience in Canada, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we would love to. Like I said, I grew up in Buffalo, so I mean, going to Niagara Falls or crossing the border there, going to like Maple Leaf Village or just drive around the Canadian areas was like 10-minute walk. It was all like right there. So, and it was really cool too growing up because the drinking age in New York at the time was 21 and the drinking age in Canada was 18. So, once we started learning how to drive and stuff, we'd just jump over the border to Canada and hit the strip clubs and grab a few beers. And they had this area called Maple Leaf Village, which is like, a bunch of wax museums and some carnival rides and things like that. And yeah, we'd love to get out there and do some touring. It's just really a matter of scheduling and money. Of course, I mentioned we're all got kids and stuff like that and full-time jobs, so it's just hard to really get out on the road for any expended extended period of time and make it financially feasible. And of course, with COVID right now, we're all just kind of laying low and seeing what happens.
Yeah, totally. Another question from the chat: bubble baths or showers?
I'm a shower guy personally. In fact, my kids will make fun of me because I'll jump in the shower sometimes 2-3 times a day. Where my studio is, I think I figured it out. Where my studio is and where my desk is and stuff, where I spend like pretty much 100% of my day, is right underneath the air vent. And we live in Arizona, so of course the air conditioning's on all the time. So I'll be sitting here and be like, damn, my hands are cold, or my feet are cold. I'm going to go jump in the shower. Jump in the shower, take a quick hot shower just to warm up, whatever. So, yeah, I'm personally a shower guy.
Another question: favorite female singer or band?
Oh, man. So you're gonna catch me on this one because I am absolutely horrible with names. So I don't really know a lot of people's names, female singers and bands. I'd have to revert to probably some radio stuff like Hailstorm. I like Hailstorm. She sings. I think that's I'd have to look it up. Yeah, we'll go with that for now because I'd have to look it up. I got the song in my head, but I can't remember who sings it at the moment. Like I said, I'm just one of those people. Like I remember your face and I remember, conversations we had, but I will blank on your name almost every time.
Well, speaking of bands, what are some of the bands that influenced you growing up that got you into playing metal?
Oh yeah, like we were talking about a little bit earlier with our earlier talks. I started listening, like if we were going to talk metal, growing up, my mom played a lot of like Elvis and Monkees and stuff, like that kind of era, I guess rock and roll you would call it. And then later my brother introduced me to like Black Sabbath and things like Prince, which was really big at the time. My actual very first concert, I was 8 years old. My dad took my sister and me to go see Michael Jackson, which at the time was, he was a huge, big name. And to this day, even, 40 years later, I can close my eyes and remember that show because it was so stupid ridiculous with the lighting and the fireworks. And they did this whole Excalibur thing where they pulled a sword out of the stone, and it was just fucking crazy, stage show at the time. Later on, I got into like skating and BMX stuff. We were listening to Sick of It All and DRI. Later, Metallica, Sepultura, Slayer, and then, like I said, once I heard Deicide, death metal, I just fell in love with death metal and progressed from there with like Deicide and Death and stuff like that. And it was actually, I guess it would actually Metallica era. And Justice for All era that kind of got me into guitar and playing guitar. So yeah, I guess that would be my main influences, some of that Biohazard stuff. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Another question, Lady Cat Chaos wants to know, what guitar or guitars did you use to record the debut?
Sure. I used a BC Rich Junior V Deluxe. And our other guitar player, Gabriel, he uses an Ibanez Prestige.
Nice.
And that's a Lady Cat. We'll give a shout out to her.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Another question, Rauth wants to know why you don't like Infant Annihilator.
I never said I don't like Infant Annihilator. No, they're good. They're on my Spotify rotation.
All right. Yeah, big shout out to fucking Lady Cat though for hooking us up with the fucking interview, man. Can you tell us how you guys got hooked up with her?
Yeah. I do. Obviously, or unfortunately, my music doesn't pay all the bills, so I do IT for a living, and to make some side money I do website design and stuff like that, EPKs and things. So I got involved with a DJ friend of mine named Walter, and I was building him a website, and we became really close friends. And over the years, and then at the time when we released the album, and Metal Devastation was doing our distribution, I hit up Walter and I said, hey man, I'm looking for somebody, that can help us run a little PR, help us push the album out, maybe, on the East Coast somewhere, help us set up some interviews and things like that. And right away he was like, Cat, just here, call Cat. I don't know if you know who Walter is, but he's like, just call Cat. And I was like, all right, I'll call Kat. So, we started up a little Facebook conversation and shot some shit back and forth. And it turns out, Kat and I both grew up kind of in the East Coast and along the same kind of circles and around the same kind of music and stuff like that. We hit it off. And yeah, so she's helping us out running some promo and setting up interviews for stuff like that. So shout out to her. Really appreciate it.
Hell yeah, man. Another question for you. Where do you see yourself 3 years from now with regards to your music?
Hopefully still writing. Right now we're bringing up our new drummer, Andy, up to speed. As far as I know, he's pretty much ready to go as far as the material that's on the album. With everything with COVID lockdown, we're almost going on a year now. So, I've been just sitting home writing riffs. Gabriel, our other guitar player, has just been sitting home writing riffs and songs. Our vocalist, Nathan, he's been telling all of us, Nathan's a big fan of just the English language in general, really, and like William Blake poetry and that kind of stuff, and Stephen King kind of writing. So he's telling us, I've already got like pages and pages of lyrics, guys. I just need songs to put them to. He's writing like whole stories and whole novels of stuff, and he's like, I just need music, man. Just give me music. So yeah, it's just Gabe and I writing new material, trying to get a new album put together. We probably got I think 5 or 6 relatively finished songs, and then just a whole bucket full of riff ideas and stuff that we're tossing around to each other. So hopefully we'll have another album coming out here soon, and we're just going to try to keep the music rolling. Like I said, I've been playing music since 3rd grade. I don't really see that changing anytime soon. Hell
yeah, dude. Another question, Bad Wizard wants to know, where did the band name come from?
So Nathan, our vocalist, as I just mentioned, is a big fan of the English language. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think his dad was like a professor or something like that. So if you ever read Nathan's lyrics from either this album or his lyrics from like Vehemence and stuff like that, or if you ever listen to Nathan speak in interviews, he's very, very well spoken. And it's actually a William Blake poem. It's He Who Binds Himself a Joy. And it was a poem. Basically, the summary was, if you love something and you hold it too tight, you're gonna kill it. So you got to let it go and let it breathe. And just over the course of time, it whittled down. It used to be He Who Buys Himself a Joy, but over time it was just He Who Buys Himself. That's kind of more of a death metal name. We actually changed our name. I think it was like 2010. We were going by another name, a Nefera Seed, for a little while. It lasted a year or two, and we were like, we're switch back to He Who Binds Himself. It's just a better name. It's a little more unique and allows for a little more imagery and stuff like that.
Hell yeah, man. All right. Well, for people out there that want to find out more about you guys, where can they go to fucking get some merch and find out more information?
Yeah, absolutely. The easiest and quickest place would be hewhobindshimself.com. It's got links to Metal Devastation. He's got CDs and pins and patches. If you hit us up on our website, I got a tub full of t-shirts and patches and CDs and stuff. You can hit us up on Facebook. Of course, all the links are on hewhobindshimself.com, so you can just go there and hit that all up. You can see some of since it's the digital age, not a lot of people purchase the CDs and stuff, but I hope you enjoy the artwork that's on there. We did actually like I said, we printed out physical CDs because I'm into that shit. I like inlays and stuff, and so we put some time into the artwork. We got some. Let me do a quick shout out to some of the people that did the artwork. A quick shout out to Michelle Barassa, who did the original idea for the the head, the stretched head, and the logo inside the mouth from a few years back. And we took that idea and we took it to a company called Brutal Disorder Logos, and he did a remake of it and spiced it up. And our buddy Kyle, who also plays in Vehemence, did the heads and the jars and stuff. So it was really just a real a group of people that kind of all put in these little pieces, you know what I mean, and gave it to me, and I threw it into a layout in Photoshop, and then tossed it over to our buddy John Chuglow, who added some color and depth to it. And yeah, I mean, it's like a lot of work goes into that stuff, you know what I mean? So I really wanted to keep the flow of that imagery with the CD and take it to the website. So when you go to hewhobindshimself.com, you can actually see the heads in the jars floating around, and part of our main CD head logo, you know, the eyes up there looking around, that all relates to the lyrical content of the songs on the CD and stuff. So we tried to do like a, you know, like old school full theme, you know, kind of thing, and keep the imagery and the lyrical content all tied together, and the website all tied with the CD and all that stuff.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. Yeah, dude, physical fucking stuff is fucking huge, dude. And I mean, especially in the metal world, in the metal community, like even vinyl and cassette tapes have made a huge fucking comeback. And
vinyl for sure.
It's cool, man. You know, you know.
Yeah, we had mixed feelings in the band. Like, you know, like I said, I'm a physical CD guy. Like I have a whole, and DVDs too, you know, like I buy fucking DVDs and I buy CDs. I don't know why I buy DVDs, but I buy CDs because I like the inlay and look at the artwork and like look at the lyrics. Like that was another thing for me. Like I remember being a young teen and opening CDs and reading along with the lyrics. So even like on our CD, I took digital pictures of the notebook pages that Nathan wrote his lyrics on, and I took pictures of those and put them in the CD inlay as the lyric sheets, you know, so you actually saw his handwriting and his, you know, scribbles and what he scratched out and how he moved things around and stuff like that. And you know, I'm just into that. You know, some of the guys, you know, like Gabe, he's really into the digital scene. You know, he's all about Spotify and YouTube music, and he's the guy in the band that brings us like, oh, did you check out this band? You know what I mean? He's like the guy that's always on top of the new stuff and brings the new stuff to, oh, you got to check out these guys, you know, or check out these guys. And most of us will ignore them, and then like a year later we'll send out a link, oh, check out this band, and he'll be like, you fucking dicks, I sent that to you guys like last year, where have you been? You know, it's like an inside joke in the band about him being on top of all that music stuff. It's kind of funny. But yeah, so we just really wanted to provide everything to anybody who wanted it. So I mean, we're available everywhere: Spotify, Amazon Music, YouTube Music, all that stuff. Or we got physical CDs. Yeah, hit up hewhobindshimself.com and check out some of the artwork and all the links to all the social media and links to Metal Dev for merch and ourselves and stuff.
Very cool, man. All right. What I got? Well, I'm about out of questions for you. Is there anything else you want to let your fans know?
Oh, no, I just want to give you a shout out, man. I appreciate you having us on, and appreciate everything you're doing, keeping metal music alive and doing the internet radio thing. I've been involved in internet radio before, and I know that is not a cheap thing to do. So shout out to you yourself for keeping that alive and doing your thing, man. We all really appreciate it. It's, for me personally, like I mentioned, Gabe introducing us to new music. I do IT for a living, so I'm sitting here, you know, chugging away on a computer most of the time, and I'll pull up your station, or I'll pull up other stations, or I'll pull up, you know, Spotify or whatever, and just try to explore new music. And I just appreciate, especially a live person that has an opinion, you know, that can voice an opinion on some stuff. It was really cool.
Fuck yeah, dude. Thank you, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us, too.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Before I let you go, can I get you to make us a station tag real quick?
Sure.
All right.
You ready? I'm ready if you're ready.
Yeah, whenever you're ready, say something like, this is He Who Binds Himself, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Steve with He Who Binds Himself, and you're listening to Metal Devastation Radio.
Fuck yeah. All right, man. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to blast some more He Who Binds Himself for these motherfuckers so they can go crazy, all right?
Awesome. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you again.
All right, man. Cheers. We'll talk to you later, dude.
All right. You have a good one, Zach. Thanks.
Later, man. There you have it, folks. He Who Binds Himself live on the Zach Moonshine Show with Metal Devastation motherfucking radio. Like I said earlier, put your speakers in your fucking windows, put them in your front lawns, put them wherever the fuck you can. Make your neighbors fucking hate you. If you don't fucking see U-Haul trucks everywhere tomorrow. You need a new set of balls, new set of tits, a new fucking set of fucking something, man. Reach out and grab the fucking volume knob right the fuck now and crank that motherfucker all the fucking way up.